Hello YouTube, welcome to your spot for interesting news, Monday through Friday. This is ZakDTV. If you've been watching my show for a while, you might have noticed I haven't been around recently. You might be able to hear it, I'm still a little congested. I spent about a week sick as a dog, it was real bad. And then yesterday I went and had oral surgery. Feeling a little bit better, painkillers are helping. So I thought, what the heck, I'm gonna film a video. Although I'll tell you what, I've been working real slow today. Other change you might notice, I got a new camera. Let me know what you think about the video quality on this. I'm still working on figuring the camera out exactly. I think I might be too white in here, but I'm gonna work it out. And hopefully by the end of this weekend, I'm gonna be able to move to my new set. Even better. Well, let's get right into this. I'm gonna start off with Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling. Now, she's a very outspoken liberal, very anti-Trump. In fact, she's even stated that Trump supporters are adult virgins and that people don't do enough to help other people. There is a change.org petition going around to help her change that. She's a big advocate for immigration and these Middle Eastern refugees, which I agree, they need help and we should be helping them. But here's a woman that can actually make a difference. She is a billionaire after all these Harry Potter movies, and she owns a gigantic mansion with 18 guest bedrooms. And that's what this petition wants. They want 75,000 signatures, they already have 52,000 of them, to try to force J.K. Rowling to put 18 refugees, one in each room, and help take care of them herself. It would be putting your money where your mouth is. They even have this petition broken down to gender and everything, because X% are this type, X% are that type. You can look at it, I linked to it in the description, of course. But I don't care if this thing has 75,000 signatures. She's just gonna ignore it anyway, really. A lot of these change petitions really don't do anything. They're just kind of fun to look at. So like I said, go check it out if you want to read it. Next, I have a question for you. What is a juggalo? I don't know, but he's down with the clowns. And he's down for life, yo. Those lyrics are from that great band ICP. When I was a kid, I used to be into them. They were really cool, edgy, dressed like clowns. What wasn't to like? Well, they haven't gone out of style, it seems. A neat little fact, juggalos are considered a gang by the FBI. Now you know. And that's going to bring me to one of these gang members, Jonathan Schrapp. He's a 24-year-old from Brown County, Wisconsin, and he was arrested on multiple charges, but only after plea deals and everything, pled no contest to second-degree reckless injury. For that charge, he's going to spend 3.5 years in jail and 4.5 years on probation. Holy shit, right? Well, this all stems from he and 3 of his friends getting together for a memorial to the death of a fellow juggalo who had passed away a year earlier. This happened back in September. They felt a good way to commemorate their friend's passing would it be drink a couple shots of blood. That's where Shelby Newens, she's a 27-year-old, decided to volunteer. She's always helpful. According to a couple different news sources, it was either just her alone or Jonathan as well. They mixed their blood together, they drank shots of it, or they cut her and drank shots of her blood. Not sure which way it went. There's a bunch of different sources. All my sources are down below. Now, after drinking a couple shots of blood, they decided the next good idea would be cut a finger off. Shelby, that helpful girl she is, said, hey, take my pinky finger. So they used a machete, took 2 whacks to get it off, and then Jonathan decided he wanted to put it in the freezer to save it because he's going to cook it later for a snack. Yeah, I can't make this stuff up. Now, they do say there's no drugs or alcohol involved, and this was just totally a sober thing. I find that hard to believe. Of course, after you remove a pinky finger from somebody, it does bleed profusely. They tried to cauterize the wound, first by using a car cigarette lighter, and then it sounds like a propane torch. That didn't work. They thought, Shelby, you've been fun. Dropped her off back with her boyfriend and split the scene. I guess being a juggalo doesn't necessarily make you a good person. Her boyfriend's mother did convince her to go to the hospital, where she went, said she didn't want to press charges on anybody, said it was totally her fault. She offered to make it happen. But in the long run, the state does step in on things like this, and they charge Jonathan and one of his friends with the same crime. The third guy, they didn't get him for anything. But this is what happens when you party with juggalos. After being down for a week, I've missed a lot of stuff. So not all my news stories are current, and that's part of what took me so long today, was going through all the news and figuring out what I wanted to talk about. Well, I came across a story about Peter Pan being put on as a play. Peter Pan as a play. That's fun. It was in Alberta, Canada, and it was protested due to a photo that circulated of white people dressed in Native American garb to play the role of the Indians in Peter Pan. Once that photo circulated, they started getting some backlash from a local tribe. So they removed that whole section of play, cut those characters' lines and everything, and wanted to continue with the show. They do say in their press release that they did try to get members of the local tribe to audition for the roles, and they thought that would be a good way to go, but nobody wanted to audition. Even after a statement saying how sorry they were for this oversight and cutting that section out of the play, protesters still wanted the play shut down. They thought the whole thing was offensive. There was a line from the production's apology letter that brought me to discuss this as today's topic. The line is, we should have consulted with First Nation people, or we wish they would have let us know the offensive parts of our show. We obviously did not have the cultural sensitivity to recognize it for ourselves. In my opinion, they were putting on a play. In my opinion, they also tried to get actors of the right nationality to play the right roles. They have done their due diligence, and I don't see where this is a problem. And that brings the question, why is there so much inequality when it comes to cultural appropriation? Now, I'm not talking about this Rachel Dolezal character who says she's trans black and was head of a branch of the NAACP. Actually, her name now is Nkachi Amore Diallo, and she changed her name so she could embrace these feelings, represent more the person she feels like any transgender or anybody else would. I don't disagree with doing that, and this isn't a topic on that. But I want to know who makes the rules on what is okay and what isn't. Another play, The Wiz, based off of Wizard of Oz. They call it whitewashing when all the actors in a production are white. Is it blackwashing when they change the story to an all-black cast? Or maybe Hamilton, who actively looked for minority actors to play historically white roles. Even Steel Magnolias, a story of some elderly white women down south, they redid with an all-black cast. And this is all over pop culture as well. Like Miley Cyrus, who gets criticized for wanting to be black because she twerks. Girls have been doing that in the club as far back as I can recall. Or Eminem, he wants to be black because he talks with an accent. Or like Iggy Azalea, because she has a lumpy butt. But at the same time, people don't go after like Darius Rucker for singing country music, which is as white as I could get for music. Or black ballroom dancers. What about black women that are in shape? And I'm not saying all white people are in shape. I'm saying for some reason, people equate her having a large ass, which as far as I know is genetic, not personal choice, is a problem. The type of music you like is your own opinion. Where are these things to go after people on? And while reading today, I was reading all sorts of different articles and looking at Twitter and this and that based on this subject, and I've come to find too that white people aren't allowed to have cornrows or dreadlock because somehow they're an ethnic invention. Well, the Dutch have been braiding their hair for hundreds of years into cornrows. Vikings were doing it way back in the day. This isn't something new. And dreadlocks, anybody, it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, if you let your hair get long and dirty enough, it's gonna clump up into dreadlocks. Just part of having gross hair. Another one I came across, that whole cholo look. I don't know what you classify it as. I've seen a lot of Hispanic women that don't dress this way. It's almost like a hood look or something. I don't know. Give me some feedback on that one. What would you classify it as? Well, we've got photos of Rihanna doing it. She's not Latino, black and white. She's a mulatto. But at the same time, this girl, Lucy Hale, I don't even know who she is, did it. And for some reason, Twitter blew up about it, sending her all sorts of hate mail and whatnot. And she didn't go nearly as far as Rihanna did with the fake tattoos and everything. She just did her hair. And in this day and age, I can't understand why even food has become a sticking point for this. Jamie Oliver, he's a British chef, made a traditionally Nigerian dish called jollof. People liked it. They enjoyed it. It was given good ratings. But the Nigerian community spoke out against it. Said white man was trying to appropriate their food. If you see the photo of it here, it looks a lot like Spanish rice. And after reading the ingredients, it's really about the same thing. It's tomato-based rice with spices and seasoning in it. So what gives one culture the right to claim that and then yell about it? A lady who gave an interview not too long ago spoke about how people taking photos of their food and posting it on Instagram will make you racist. You're racist because you're appropriating other people's cultures and you don't do a good enough job of presenting them properly. And if you decide to eat ethnic foods, you better study up on it or you're being insensitive. Something we need to cut to right here is that we are America. This is a melting pot. In America, it is an American culture. So if you are part of America, it's part of all of our culture. People don't get angry when they see guys wearing ties or suits or khakis or eating mayo, because those are all the stereotypical things white people do. That's not a problem when white people see it happen, and it shouldn't be a problem when other races see it happen with their stuff. I mean, how many Asian punk rockers are there out there? Or black dudes that are into metal? That's the beauty of this planet, of human beings in general. We are all inhabitants of a little blue rock floating in a great big universe. We are all human beings. And yes, we might be culturally diverse, but cultural segregation is not the way to move forward as a planet or as a civilization. Let me know your thoughts on this one. It's big. Maybe I'm being insensitive. Maybe I'm not. Fill me in the comments. And last but not least, I'm going to finish up with something a little more humorous. This is a traffic stop in Las Vegas. Cop pulled over a guy on suspicion of drunk driving when all of a sudden he hears the squealing of truck tires. And that's an 18-wheeler worth of beer dumping over on the freeway. The cop described it as a tidal wave of beer came crashing towards him. And you can see, totally soaked the trooper, the people in the car. I don't care if they were drinking and driving before. That just got them off. Because there's no way to tell if they smell like alcohol or if it's just the area you're in. In the long run, though, no one was hurt. The people in the car were let go with no charges. And the moral of the story here, though, is don't cut off Briggs, because that's what caused that accident. Somebody cut him off, he had to jack his brakes, and people could have gotten seriously hurt. Luckily, no one did. With that, I'm going to wrap up my show. I need to quit talking. My face is starting to hurt. I bet it's killing you, huh? Stop back in Monday through Friday to stay up to date with the most current news I can find. Share me with your friends if you will. Help me promote my channel. And as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow.